Okay.
Are we
Are we
on?
record?
We're on. uh,
I'm here. I'm here. I'm having a good time.
I'm having a good time.
You're live.
So anyways, so what I was getting into, what I was talking about before we came on, just to continue before everything else goes crazy, is I used to have that tape. I used to have the Tiffany tape, and I'd ride around on my Red Enduro bike, Schwinn Enduro, and with my Walkman on and listen to that the whole tape. There wasn't really too many good songs on that tape, though. That's the thing. There's really just like two good songs, and one of them was a Beatles cover, I think, if I remember right. Do you know that she's produced like 20 albums since then?
No.
I had no idea.
Me either.
All I remember was her posing in Playboy at some point and thinking that was a big deal. And then, but like she's recently produced, I think she tried to do like a country album.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So my wife and I got into this rabbit hole of 80s videos last night. And that was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Debbie Gibson, I think some Whitney, some Janet Jackson we stared at. I wanted to hear this Madonna song that I hadn't heard in a while, and now I can't even remember what it is. So, I don't know. How's it going?
Okay.
Yeah?
Not too bad.
What were you working on? You said you're working on something?
So I have this sprint car that it's Jason Rona's, and he's just like never asked for it back. like and I've just had it in a box. Like I didn't touch it, I didn't do anything with it. Well, everybody that I work with, or like a few guys that I work with, they're started racing off-road, and they're like, all right, let's get old sprint cars. All right, we get sprint cars. Like, oh, I have one. I don't know how good it is, but it's kind of outdated, I think, by today's standards. But so the servo was like on this side and like standing up, and I like drilled the chassis and moved it to the other side and put it kind of squared everything up. So I don't know if it's better, but it looks nicer.
Yeah.
And did that, and I don't know, it had a 3-gear stand-up transmission in it.
Is that a Custom Works or is that somebody's conversion?
This is a C4 car. I don't know. It's not a Custom Works car. But,
okay.
It's the company, I guess, is called like C4. So I have that, and I got a speed controller here. I got to put some new wires on and get everything kind of put into place. It had a 3-gear stand-up transmission in it. It's right here.
Yeah.
And I need to put a lay down in it and try to update it a little bit and make it a little, because this is an original B6 conversion. It's kind of an old car.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'll make it cool.
Well, that's pretty neat. I'm gonna work on my 4-wheel drive Mini tonight because the next round of Emerson's Mini Maniacs series is tomorrow, and I broke out of the first one, so I got to make the next 2 for sure. So I need to like fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And then I had my other mini car was bad on Saturday. I don't know what happened. Like every time I'd land, the thing would flip over. So I'm gonna redo the shocks, and I might actually work on it. I don't think I've actually worked on it since I put it together.
Huh. That's interesting.
So
a mini, like an 18 scale car?
Yeah, my Mini B.
Oh,
and
like,
then,
when you said mini car, I was thinking like Tamiya Mini.
Oh no. The Mini B and the Mini RC18 that Emerson I have.
Mm-hmm.
So Nut House, I still owe him another car in trade, but which I need to work on too. I should probably get on that. But I got some parts, so I'm gonna try to put my 4-wheel drive together. I lost a servo. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But I was looking at it when I picked it up today, and I might have just been the servo saver I think I broke. So I might even just need to do that. It might even be easier than what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, Emerson's put together this crazy track layout tomorrow. It's already built.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very busy. So
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see how it goes. Yeah. So I got that, and then I was thinking about doing an after hours this Wednesday.
Ooh.
I raced F1 last week and it did pretty well. My car works pretty good, so I think I don't need to run it until Sunday because the Winter Series round 2 for on road is this coming up Sunday, and I work, so I'm going to try to do both. So we'll see how that goes, but I kind of don't want to mess up. I don't want to risk messing up my car. So
yeah, I was going to try and race oval the next time they race oval, but the next time they race oval will be in Arizona. So.
Really. I need to look at that schedule because I need to work on the oval, especially now. We'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Because I think it's December 4th. I think that's when we're in. We're in Arizona. So
shoot. Okay, well, might have to leave my keys behind.
Yeah.
See if Tim wants to get on that thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it. An idea I have when we get to the oval segment.
Oh, there's a good question. We'll get to that later. Joe Zaire's on here.
Oh, Joey Jojo, Junior Shabadoo.
Juba shabba looba. That's my Biden impression.
Oh.
Shooba looba looba booba ice cream.
That's an obscure Simpsons reference.
Is it?
Yeah. There's this character. Anyway, just look it up.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, just look it up. Joey Jojo Jr. So I call him that because they're all Joes or whatever.
Yeah.
Joe.
There's 3 of them.
Yeah, you got Joe Senior and Joe Junior and Joey Jojo. Old Joe Senior there running a 12 scale. Sorry, Joe. Sorry. Anyway.
Well, hey, this is Alex Sturgeon with the Hobbytown Hobbyplex manager and race director. And with me, as always,
Will Brinton.
And we're here to talk about some stuff today. I want to go over the AMS results, just give those guys who run locally with us some props for that. They to make the trip, and then we'll talk about the Fastlane race too. I've kind of kept my eye on that a little bit. Yeah. And then we'll talk about our races going on and what we got upcoming. We're in a very, very busy season. I can't believe almost half of November is already over. I don't know where it went.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. But, and then, as always, this show brought to you by Pivot Lending Group. You can find them at pivotlending.com. And if you mention our show to Don Zoller or Aiden Olson's dad, get yourself 0.125 off your interest rate or $500 lender credit, your choice. And keep if you guys are interested in any of that, wherever you are listening to this show, doesn't matter, because I think they've got offices all over the U.S., just give them a call. And because they pay for the show.
Yeah.
And I'd like to keep doing this show on a weekly basis. So let's keep that up.
You can just call them to say hi.
Yeah, just call them and say, hey, we heard about your office. Can you tell me more? Yeah. That'd be a great phone call.
Just be like, hi.
Hey. Is this Aiden Olson's dad?
Yeah. Or just call him and just breathe heavy for like 5 minutes and hang out.
That'd be so funny. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to say something. Oh, yeah. So here's the deal. If you want to hook us up with a super chat, if you have a question, and you want it answered right away, we'll answer it if you drop a super chat. Otherwise, you got to wait till the end. We'll get to all of it. All your comments and questions at the end. Just go through them. But we'll interrupt the show. We'll drop whatever we're doing. I'll be mid kickstart if you want to leave a super chat. So what have we got going on? Oh! I had a cool idea. This is a very cool idea, and I want to pass it by you live while we're on the show. I didn't bring this up to you at any point whatsoever earlier. My sister and I, we were kind of brainstorming what to do, because I always feel like I'm not like doing enough for our Patreon members, and it bothers me because I'm working on a video right now, and of course I'm going to have the Patreon members listed at the end, like I always do. but I always feel like I should do more. So this is what I thought. For our end of the year show, which would be December 19th, what if we try to get our Patreon members on for like 5 to 10 minutes each?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Right? Like we can get Peter on here remotely, let these guys kind of have a rundown of what they do, how they got into RC, if that's what they're into, I guess, or whatever. And then some of them are here in Omaha, and we could just have them come.
Yeah. Or even have them come into the podcast studio. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They'll be here at the podcast studio, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, I totally get it.
Anyways, so we're working on that. We're gonna try to line that up. I think if that'd be okay.
Yeah, be cool.
Is that a good idea?
I think it's great. I think it's a good idea.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna try to get that lined up, and we'll see what else I can come up with for Patreon members. What's so funny? Did I miss something? What's going on? Is it a joke that went over my head again? God. Anyways, I don't even understand.
I probably shouldn't.
It blew right by me. Whatever's super funny to you on that one blew right by me.
Is anybody else laughing in the studio?
Yeah, there's a couple.
But yeah, no, I probably shouldn't have made that joke. This is a family show. Anyway, all right, yeah, no, I think that's totally a good idea. I mean, it's something, if you want to be a Patreon member for a month just so you can tell your story, you could do that.
Yeah.
Right? It's always an option. If you want to try to go to the podcast studio to visit and be on live, that's a way to do it.
Well, they were even talking about, Richard was even talking about they could arrange outside of the podcast studio because this place is kind of versatile. They can do it from where I'm at right now, but they also have some shows where they have like a round table almost.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like The View?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. I don't know. I just think it's kind of neat.
Yeah, it is neat.
So
it's more than kind of neat. It is neat.
Let's see. So I'm going to talk about that, and then so funny story. The water hose.
Yeah.
The water hose at the Plex exploded Wednesday night.
Just everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. We got a super chat.
Hell yeah.
Thoughts on the new Reflex 14R Hoonicorn. So I thought I saw that.
I just saw it while I was upstairs, like right before the show.
Yeah, I could have swore I saw that. And I don't know. The Hoonicorn sells really well at the Plex. So I'm sure all it is the Reflex chassis that's like on the buggy in the truck that they have. Mm-hmm. Just turned into a buggy, just like the Latrax cars do. So Latrax has their Teton and their SST, and then they have a shorter arm package and a shorter shock package for their rally cars. So I'm sure that's what they did, and we'll definitely be getting them at the Plex. On-road racing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
On-road racing with that car? That would be cool to actually have a spec class like that that's not Tamiya.
Yes. Let me check something. Talk about something because I want to look something up.
Well, have you ever heard of some tracks they do that the stock Vortec or whatever? Like they have that Vortec Traxxas electric Vortec car. It has like the Titan 12.
You mean the Vortec? Like
it has like the stock 12 turn in it.
Yeah.
And it's like I think that there's a special tire that you can run on it, but that's it. Maybe change the radio.
Right. So the Vortec dude out of the box is really fast.
Oh, really?
So that's why we haven't done anything like that because it's really fast. Like it's too fast for our track almost.
Oh, really?
It almost drives like a
the brushed one?
Yeah. the 12-turn brushed, it almost drives like a mod car.
Oh,
how
really?
fast it is.
That's funny. I wouldn't have expected that, actually.
Yeah. So you almost have to. I mean, you'd have to slow it up. And I'm looking to see if it's got 12 injection molded brake calipers and motors with 12 millimeter hex. So there you go. So that would be my first question was, can you put like 12 millimeter tires on it?
Mm-hmm.
Like touring car tires, and it looks like you can. So the layout's very similar to the other two cars that they have. So I don't know. That could be kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Be interesting. I mean, anything's possible. You just got to get enough people to come out and give it a try. But there has to be some. I've said this for a while, but there's got to be some way to get a ready to run class on road. When the Fortec came out, I thought that would be it. But but like I said, it's really fast out of the box. So it's hard to tell people, hey, you're going to get this, and then you're going to buy a 21.5 Hobby Wing system for $100.
Right. Well, and or you got to build it.
Yeah.
Or
like the TTO2s.
Yeah.
So, although the TTO2s are really easy build, but even some people don't want to go that route. Right.
No, I totally understand it. I think that's why off-road is so much more popular sometimes, is because you can just go buy a car and go drive it. Like, you can buy a Traxxas Slash. Like, there isn't really a Traxxas Slash for on-road now.
No.
Like, I kind of thought it was going to be that, like, Sprint 2 at one time, like HPI car, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. I hear that.
Yep.
Huh. So yeah, so I'm sure. Well, I'll email Associated, make sure we get some.
Yeah, we should try to get a demo one so we could see how fast it is and see if it's not too fast before we get a bunch of them.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Can always ask. At least the how what's that saying goes?
You miss every chance you don't take.
Well, that too.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
Doesn't hurt to ask. Yeah, there you go.
The worst thing they can say is no.
Worst they can say is no. That's what I was getting at.
I've used a lot of them. Or
okay, back to the Hobbyplex, the weekly Hobbyplex drama. No drama, but like just craziness.
So, I don't know, but before you keep talking though, look at how clean that is.
No, that's pretty clean.
It's pretty dang clean.
It's really clean.
I'll just doing it with a hand drill and a Dremel, But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So our before we get there, Groundswell RC Crew says Kyosho Phaser. So I could see that too. Those cars actually are not that fast out of the box. We carry almost every single one of them. I will say that the bodies on those phasers are almost too nice. Like the reason why we started carrying those cars is because of the scale look to them, like the Chevelle and the Camaro and the Barracuda and the GTO and the El Camino. I mean, they have some really good ones, but
oh yeah, I drove one of those.
Yeah.
I
mean, that probably wouldn't be a bad RTR car, but you'd have to. Boy, I would not want to run if I bought like the Chevelle or something with all that neat, good looking body and with all the plastic on it. I wouldn't want to race that. I'd want to definitely change the body out right away.
Right.
And then Yokomo's got a new 12 scale car. I think it's a 12 scale. It's like they call it GT something, and it's like a very basic on-road car that's cheap. I saw it at A-Main. I thought about getting one for the store, but I just don't know if the demand would be there yet. So, whatever. That's Tim's job. Tim's supposed to think of that stuff. I think of enough stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Tim, I think Tim kind of thinks that you should have to build a car. I don't know his mindset or his thought process really on that kind of stuff anymore, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if he's like, if you're going to race it, you got to build it.
Yeah. But, I don't think he's like that. I think he just wants people to race, period. I think that's why the TTO2 thing at the Plex is so popular.
Oh, yeah.
So those cars are pretty cheap. I mean, for $300, you can race on-road. with a
Right.
TTO2.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I mean, realistically speaking, that's very cheap
Oh no,
for
it's
RC car racing.
extremely cheap. There's like $400 sitting right here and it ain't even done yet.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, I want to talk about the hose thing because this sucks. So,
Mm-hmm.
or it did suck. But basically, in the wintertime, we turn off the water when it starts to get really cold out because we don't want the pipes to explode. And so I've gotten in the habit of doing that. Because I got in the habit of doing that, there was never really a need to turn off the water to the actual hose from the actual spigot,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because the water's off. So you get into these weird, crazy habits, and you don't even think about it until bad stuff happens. So at some point Wednesday night, the hose that goes from the spigot to underneath the pit lane where I wrap up the hose nowadays, that got a hole in it, and then it just got bigger and must have burst or something, and basically sprayed water onto the walkway in the dirt oval for probably 8 hours. Because that's what I'm guessing, because we didn't find it till 11 a.m. on Thursday. And so, could have been, hopefully it was, I don't think it was a couple hours. I think it was a long time. So there was 13 inches of standing water on the dirt oval Thursday morning. And I come into work at noon on Thursdays. And so I got a phone call at 11. And I was like, what's going on? And it was call me ASAP. And usually when I get those messages, it's either somebody's stolen something from the Plex and I got to go back to the cameras and find, the spot and get a screen capture of it or something like that. Or there's been a fire or, just something bad has usually happened when I get that kind of message. And then I got a picture a couple minutes later texted to me of the thing. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, how in the world did the pipes freeze and bust? Because it didn't even get that cold out. That was my first thought, was how in the world did that happen? And then I found out what it was, and I was just like, you got to be kidding me.
Got to be kidding me right now.
If I would have just gone over there and turned off the water, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But I hadn't done that in so long. I think it'd been a couple of years since I even changed the hose out.
Right. I don't know. It's kind of a weird one.
Because every once in a while, every couple of years, we'll need to get a new hose because they get worn out and they do leak a little bit, but it's usually on the handle by the sprayer.
Right.
So we spent all day Thursday pumping out the water. I think we finally got the last of it off about 6:30. And because a lot of it had filled up in that corner over there where that door's at.
Mm-hmm.
So I got all that out of there too. And then it did get really cold that night, so I had to shut the doors. I was going to leave them open to try to dry out the track some more, but I didn't want to risk having anything else freeze. Actually freeze, the pipes actually freeze, and then it goes from bad to worse. So then Thursday, I worked on it a little bit, and it really became apparent that it wasn't going to be salvageable for that night's racing because where the standing water had been the deepest that's where you basically couldn't even get to yet because it was so wet. Yeah, basically. It was like a swamp. You'd go over there and put your foot in it, and your foot would probably sink a couple inches minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I called racing Friday night. I said we could still practice because I basically just opened up that section like we used to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That we do for 10 scale only sometimes, but there's no loop there. So you can't actually have racing. You have to go around the oval. So we couldn't have racing, but we still had a good crowd Friday for practice.
Yeah, we had a lot of people there to come and run their stuff.
Yeah. And what really stunk was I worked on the track that Tuesday to fix it from the Techno series, and it was drying up and was going to be pretty dry enough on Friday for racing. But that water, it was crazy how it worked. It filled up the oval, and then it seeped out to the off-road, to the lowest part of the off-road, and started to fill up there underneath of all that dirt.
Yeah.
So there just wasn't. I had to get that water out of there first, and then it remained wet, a little bit more wet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was like that tabletop in the center of the oval was like a big sponge.
it still is too. So we put together the carpet off-road Friday. Pretty good layout. I try to keep it somewhat simple, kind of. Had a good race day Saturday. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. And then Saturday night, I asked Emerson to put the track away for me. So Emerson and whoever stayed to help got the track put away. And then I immediately went out and started working on the oval. And I was able to actually get the tamper around the whole thing and kind of get it whacked. And I took a lot of dry dirt on top, but I did get it to where a car could drive on it. But I knew what was going to happen because in turn 1 of the oval and then on the very inside of the front straightaway, it was so soft that after you tamped it, it was so soft that if you walked on it, it would move the dirt.
Oh, really?
So I figured the entryway into turn 1 was probably going to get really bumpy, and I went out there before I came to the studio today just to look at it, and yeah, that's exactly what happened. So those guys had a pretty. I bet you that I didn't go down there really. I went down there right away to look at it, and I don't even know if I should even say, but you ever just want people to not say anything to you?
Oh yeah, all the time.
So most of the time, I do all the track work for everything now. Okay, for the oval, for the off road, for everything. Okay, and I don't mind it. In fact, a lot of times, because I'm doing like this week, I worked on the oval after racing was over, and I got it all painted and looking really nice by about 1 a.m. But it's almost therapeutic in a way for me to just be by myself. And if I get on my tractor, I couldn't get on the tractor this week because it would have sank into the oval. So I just had my headphones on and was just diligently just trying to make it as good as I possibly could get it. And that's it. But, and so you go down there and I just wanted to see what it looked like, since there'd been cars on it for a couple hours already. And I thought it looked actually pretty good. You could tell it was bumpy, especially on the front straight. They were doing this down the front straight. And I'm just like, man, that sucks. And Tim did get the hand tamper out and tried to whack it down a little bit.
Yeah.
While he still could. And I told him to try to do that between the rounds. I bet you he could have gotten the tamper, like the actual vibrating tamper out there in between rounds. But he used a hand tamper, which I'm sure worked fine and everything. But I was getting I got a couple thank yous, which is great. I'm not always looking for that stuff. But what I don't want is like the first thing somebody says to me is either negative or they're questioning why the track is a certain way.
Yeah. Like, hey Alex, what the hell?
It's like and then if you do it in a roundabout way or if you do it in a passive aggressive way, like I just get turned off by that. I'm just over it. I've been doing this for 20 years now, 22 years. I've been working on and running like racetracks.
Yeah.
I just kind of over it, man.
They're like, "Yo, Goober, why is the track rough?"
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that. Which I'm glad. I mean, everybody understood that.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's just if you're gonna, I don't know.
Oh, the track's all bumpy.
Yeah. But what the thing was, it wasn't even about that. It was about something else.
Oh.
But even then, I'm just
You can tell me later.
I'll tell you later.
Mm.
I don't know. So, if you're watching this, if you're that person and I came across as a butthole, maybe look internally. They probably won't, but that's okay.
Yeah. I have like metric and standard hardware on this cage. Is that like typical for all like oval cars? Like just whatever screw they jam in there?
I think Custom-Works cages I believe are still standard. Oh,
I'm gonna make this one metric.
And yeah,
it is like Look at my 16th. Like,
Yeah. It is kind of a cluster sometimes with that.
well, and then some of them are 50 thou or like the 050.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, God.
Like the 10T, the Losi 10T still uses mostly standard hardware. So you
What?
got to have a 3/32 wrench and a 1/16.
I thought this was America.
Thought this was America.
I'm jamming standard screw or metric screws in this whole thing.
Do it.
I don't care.
It's plastic. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Plastic is fantastic.
So anyways, so they had a pretty good day. I think they still had 70 something cars on the oval, and all the chatter that I saw afterwards, nobody even mentioned the track. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
so I'm sure it was fine. I went out there today and I walked around. It's still a little soft, but I think by Friday it'll be well, not by Friday. We could race on it now if we wanted to. But I am going to take the tractor around it with the box scraper to smooth the track back out as soon as it hardens up enough to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So there you go. So out of all the weird stuff that's happened, that's one of the weird ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like the pipes froze and burst open right on the other side of the announcer's booth, and sprayed water all over the track for like 2 days, way back in like 2013.
Oh, I remember that. I was there.
Yeah, and most of it went right out the door because the oval, there wasn't an oval driver stand there yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, actually, I don't think the oval was there yet. Now that I think about it,
I think it was still in the center of the track.
I think it was. So that wasn't even that big of a deal that day. And then we had the hose left on one time when the oval was in the center. Remember how I used to take and make these big drop-ins in the center of the oval?
Yeah.
And that
you could jump it in 4-wheel drive, clear the whole center of the oval.
Yep. And that was filled up with water once, and we got that sucked out with our own pump.
Mm-hmm.
Back then. That was a long time ago. So my lesson that I learned is I'm turning the hose off every night now. Every time I use the hose.
Lesson learned.
Regardless. And then last year the pipe did freeze in the other bathroom.
Yeah, I remember that.
The heater got shut off. So we have 2 heaters in there, and they work really well. Well, apparently the heater had gotten shut off, and we hadn't used that bathroom in forever anyways. And so the pipe actually froze behind the wall there last year, right before John bought the place. So we got that fixed. And then our heater's fixed, by the way, the big heater.
Yeah.
It also got fixed on Friday. So this Friday is going to be really comfy up there.
Oh, really? I didn't even know it wasn't working.
Yeah, it wasn't working during the Techno series. And luckily it wasn't that cold. So
was it just dirty or what?
It was, well, initially it was the starter motor that actually ignites the gas.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work. It got fixed, but then, and it worked for a few days, and then all of a sudden it stopped working. Turned out it was just like a capacitor.
Oh, okay.
That needed to be fixed. So it was real cheap.
Nice.
So
we like cheap.
Yeah. So that's what happened at the Hobbyplex this week. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we don't have another week like that in a while. That was a little stressful.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah. Let's talk about AMS. So the Alabama Manufacturer Shootout. This is the final Race Time Entertainment race of the year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
This is the one that has a lower turnout but higher entry fee.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys get, I believe, more track time. Is how it works. And some big shout outs here. So Mason Fuller dominated electric buggy. He TQ'd and then he won the first 2 mains. And thought that was pretty cool. It was Ryan, Spencer, Dakota, Joe, Bornhorst, Brandon Rose with another great finish. Another really good run for that dude. Jared Tebow was 7th. Tyler Jones, I believe he had to do the bump in this one and ended up in 8th. And then Aiden Horn, Ryan Cavallari, Little Bump, Cole Ogden, Spencer Eckert, and then Jared Wiggins was 14th in that one. But I want to go to the Nitro main because I believe that Caden Fuller also made that one.
Mm-hmm.
So Nitro, Dakota took the win, and then it was Ryan getting second. Spencer Eckert with a great run from 10th to 3rd. And then Mason got 4th, and Jared Tebow got 5th.
Nice.
And then it was Bornhorst, Brandon Rose, and then there's Caden Fuller making the main. Looks like he qualified 9th and finished 8th. Well, that's pretty freaking cool. Adam Drake, I believe he had to make the bump. Ended up 9th. Spencer Rivkin was 10th. Tyler Jones, I believe he bumped up as well. And was 11th. Tater Sontag, Ryan Cavallari, and then little bump was 14th. That one. So the Fullers, both Fullers making the main, the Pro A main. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it was really cool, actually. Very impressive for both of them.
Truggy, let's see if they both got in the Truggy main. Nope, they didn't.
Did they race Truggy?
Well, Mason did. Mason finished 7th.
Oh.
So it was Dakota, Ryan, Joe. So Ryan got 3 seconds this weekend. The Dakota got 2 wins and Caden got 1. And then Spencer Rivkin, or Joe Bornhorst 3rd, Spencer Rivkin 4th, Tyler Jones 5th, Jared Tebow 6th, Mason Fuller 7th, Spencer Eckert 8th, Kalaga 9th, Jared Wiggins was 10th, Lee Setzer making the Truggy main in 11th, Adam Drake, Ryan Cavallari, and Seth Van Dalen, I believe. Yeah, Seth, Adam, and Spencer Eckert had to do the bump. They bumped in, I believe. So that's pretty cool. And then I'm pretty sure that I saw, let me check here. Pretty sure I saw somebody. Is it intermediate? No. Sportsman? Yeah. Tyler Studer won the electric buggy Sportsman A main.
Nice.
So Studer went down there with the pink buggies. And I'm wondering if he made the Sportsman A. Let me see here. Yep. He won the Nitro Sportsman A main too.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Represent.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Wonder if he was in the electric truggy. Thought he raced electric truggy. Tony Roney? Tony Roney made the electric truggy A1 or A main. That's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only name that's local to us that I see. So, that's pretty rad. That is really rad. Intermediate electric buggy. Looking through here, I didn't want to miss anybody. If I missed you and you went down there, I'm sorry. Don't message me later telling me what a jerk I am. There's a lot of classes here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. So we'll see a bunch of these guys again in December. I think there's a race in January that's gonna grab a bunch of these guys from the Techno Series in January. I think it's the first race time race. Maybe the SIC race, is that it? SIC, SIC, Southern Indoor Championships.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
I think Jackson told me he was going to try to go to that.
Yep. And then we had, at the same time that was going on, we also had the, gosh darn it, what is this thing doing? Oh, I got to go to tracks. The J Concepts race at Fastlane.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the invite and then the regular race.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking for the invite. See, this is so weird. They don't have the Reedy race finish.
Tyler Hooks posted it. Go to his page.
I saw that. Let me see if I can go there. I'm like looking down on my phone while we're doing this. I feel really weird.
That's okay.
Do.
I'm putting this cage on here without the body on it so I can see if it's gonna rub any of the stuff.
Stuff that you put on there?
Yeah. I don't think it is. Looks good. If I turn right, it might hit. Oh, it doesn't hit. Oh, God, it's so close. Hell yeah. I ain't gonna be turning no rat. No communist rat. I only go left, man.
I can't wait to see all you guys come and race oval.
I don't care how I do.
Are you gonna race? Are you gonna race 410 or 360?
410. I ain't no baby.
360 is the biggest. Actually, I think 410 was the biggest class this week. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna race 410. I got a Reedy 7L right here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Usually the 360 class I think is bigger, but I looked at the list today as well, just looking to see what the turnout was. I actually think 410 had a bigger turnout.
Yeah.
You know what I want to race is the short course street stock class.
Yeah.
They put these giant street stock bodies on the short course trucks. I think they look really good.
Huh.
Anyways, all right. Let's talk about the Reedy race here. Not the Reedy race. The Reedy race format, Fast Lane Raceway. What's that race called?
The J Concepts
Winter
Invite Nationals and indoor thing.
All right.
I don't know. It's another race.
I thought I thought after kind of paying attention to the first day, I thought that Drew Rubin King was going to take this one hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had 2 second places and 3 first places, and I was like, man, he would have to. He just kind of has to write it out at that point. But Nick Gibson had one bad race on day one with a 4th, but his races were firsts and seconds as well. So Nick on the 4-wheel drive segment had 3 first places, a second, and a first. Drew had 2 second places, a first, a third, and a 4th. So, so by 3 points, Nick Gibson got the overall. Drew did finish second, and Braxton Coley got 3rd place, who also, I might add, is looking like buff.
Oh yeah,
that kid's growing up too. I think the last time I actually saw him, he was still short and had a high voice. So Braxton looking like a big buff man, Mr. Hat.
Do you paint this stuff before you put it together or after? Or wait, yeah, I know you have to do it before.
I think you would have to do it before.
Well, do you paint it like before you like put all the cutouts and stuff in it and drill all the holes, or do you paint it after?
I thought you painted it before.
Really?
Yeah.
Which side do you paint it on?
The inside.
It's the top. It's the top wing. I guess the bottom. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I could look at my other top wing.
Pretty sure it's on the bottom.
Okay.
Dave Elrico, Nate Sutherland, Tyler Hooks, Alex Vanderbeek, Ethan Delaire, Mason Herrick, and Taylor Larson all finished in the top 10 out of 24 drivers. I saw that Alex and Ethan had a win right on day one.
Mm-hmm.
But the most consistent looked like the top 2. Nate had a couple wins in there. So did Braxton. So, I don't know. That's pretty cool. That was definitely pretty cool. I'd like to attend that race sometime, but just the timing never works out. And plus, I really suck at Reedy race format.
Dude, I was doing so good until we raced 4-wheel that one year. I'm terrible at 4-wheel anymore.
Yeah.
I was in the top 5. I think I was like 3rd or 4th. And then we raced 4-wheel drive.
And then No, not that one. Let's go back here. I'm wasting a lot of time today
That's okay.
looking at stuff, trying to get everything in my mind.
Uh,
All
so
set up.
you gotta bend these, huh?
Got to bend what?
Oh, these doohickeys, the wing holders. You gotta like bend them, I guess.
Do you?
Oh, it said they're not bent, and it shows them bent on the instructions.
Oh, yeah, maybe you do. I had to build one of those one time
You just put it in a vise
when I
and
had my Custom Works
bend each
car.
of those.
Don't you heat it up? It's Lexan. Wouldn't you want to heat it up first?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Lexan. You want to heat it up.
Oh no, the kittens figured out how to get the door open.
Your kittens are smart.
Yeah, they're evolving.
I'm looking at the rest of the stuff down there.
Mm-hmm. All right, you look. I'm gonna go take.
You got to take care of your kitties. You got to put your kitties back.
I gotta put the kittens back.
I cannot wait to race Stock Slash.
Yeah.
Down there in January.
Yeah, I should try and go to that race.
Yeah, I need to work on Emerson's Slash and make it better too.
Mm-hmm. All right, hold on.
All right, hurry up.
Meow.
Meow.
Gary, come here.
Meow.
Come here.
Meow. All right, let's get to our stuff. Tracks. Hobbyplex. We had a lot of racing this weekend. Oval Winter Series. Yeah, 72 entries on Sunday. So that was really good. Actually, I think that might have been more than off-road. I thought off-road would have had 70, even with everybody gone. Like, if everybody shows up that's been at the syndicate so far this year, all at the same time, we'd have more than 100 entries. Easily. Very easily. So, maybe this week will be the week. I think the Onward guys are going to put a new layout down too, so we'll have to figure out how to make it work. I had an idea, but I don't. It's the weeks where they have the on-road winter series race on Sunday. I don't want to massively change the track, because I got to take all of it down. Got to vacuum before I go home, and so I want to limit the amount of work that I'm gonna have to do. So whatever they figure out this week, we'll make it work. I still want to. There's a couple things I want to build for this year too that I have not had the time to do. I was going to try to do it on Tuesday, but of course, I had to fix the dirt track from the Techno series. So, yeah, I don't know. You had that 410 Sprint C main on Sunday, and there was people that weren't there for these guys either. Like the Sutherlands, they were at a different race. They were at Fastlane. Yeah, there's a few more that I was thinking of that would have been there. Let's see if I can.
Okay, I'm back.
So is your black kitty did he turn into the Velociraptor from Jurassic Park and figure out how to open up the door?
I don't know. Yeah, probably because he was the first one down here. So
he's like, "Hey, Dad, look what I can do."
Yeah, pretty much. I just jammed a big rag underneath the door, try to keep it shut.
That's pretty funny. All right. Let's start with the oval guys. 72 entries on Sunday.
Wow, impressive.
Yes. And you know what's funny is we're getting our parking lot worked on. And so they did the east parking lot first. They tore it all up and got it all patched up and sealed, and then they were doing the west parking lot second, and that's where we normally park for all of our races. And then they got to do the front parking lot last. Okay, so I roll up there Sunday close to noon, to go to work for the day, and I see that everybody just bypassed the cones. So there was cones up with like yellow tape saying, "Hey, don't park here," and everybody just said, "Nah," and they all just parked in. They parked on that side anyways.
Yeah, it's pretty typical for any genre of RC.
I'm just like, oh my gosh. The day before, for the carpet off-road, of course they were working on it at the same time too. Maybe that's why, because it was Sunday, so they weren't actually working on it.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody parked on the east parking lot and just walked in the back door.
Yeah. I have no idea what even axles to put in this thing.
Axle like length or?
Yeah. Like, is it 65, 60?
67.
7? Is it always 67s?
For some reason I remember mine being 67s, because I think the car that came with mine when I got it a long time ago had 65s, and they were too short and they kept falling out.
Oh, really?
So I put
longer
ones into it.
Are 69s more better? I don't know.
I don't know.
I got a handful of 67s here, so
Just see if it'll fit.
I think it will.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they all will. It depends on what axle you're supposed to use too, versus the drive shaft or whatever the drive bone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the arm length makes a difference and all that stuff. It'd be better if they used the like 67s with the +2 with the shorter arm, so it releases the corner better. But what do I know?
I don't know.
Maybe I should make that work.
That's a genre I'm sort of not familiar with.
Me neither.
All right, so they had Plex spec. Kinley Higday took the win. Caden Clement. Mike was there. So I'm pretty sure that's his kid. In second, Rylan Hagen was third, and Ashlyn Hagen was fourth. And then the next day main was my favorite name, Mud Boss.
Mm-hmm.
You're the boss of the mud.
Yeah.
Brian Keever, race and oval.
Nice.
Got the win by a lap. Jeff Tadlock was second. Mike Soltow was third. Dale Osham was fourth. And Casey McTee was fifth. And it looks like at the start of the race, there was definitely some lead changes. I just saw the graph. So 1, 2, 3, 4 lead changes.
Nice.
Street Stock Slash. There it is. Ian Rupp took the win. I believe that's his first ever win there. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton Hallbaker was second. Jeff Tadlock third. Adam Hagen fourth. Jimmy Keenan, Derek Sprague, Todd Claywell, Casey McTee, and Brian Bailey. Rounds out the rest of that one. And then scroll up here some more. There was a late model class. Craig Moline taking the win. David Bradford was second. Mike Clement was third. Brian Bailey, Derek Sprague, Kelly Beller, and Todd Claywell.
Mm-hmm.
And then Street Stock A main, Ian Rupp from 5th to 1st. And then Mike Garrett, Steve Flanagan, Mike Soltow, Shane Menenti, Dennis Stevens, Ninja, and Jay Fairchild finished 8th. Jay's running that SR10.
Nice. What number should I run on my sprint car?
88.
88? Why 88?
I've always been number 8.
Oh.
Or 8. Use my number 8. I like number 8.
Maybe 9.
Number 9.
I always ran 9. But Brandon Heishi runs 9, so I don't know.
Yeah.
He has more right to it than I do.
Yeah. I think when I ran my sprint car, I had a Traxxas number sheet that Emerson had took a bunch of numbers off of, and the only numbers that were left were 7, 8, 9, and so I just put 7, 8, 9 on the side of mine.
Yeah.
Short course modified. David Bradford took the win. Jimmy Keenan, Keegan Johnson, Jason Morey, Dalton Hallbaker, and Greg Hart. They're in that one. And then in 410, you had Craig Moline with the win, 3 laps up on David Bradford in second. James Ham running sprint in third. Ninja was fourth. Colton Roach fifth. Brandon Heitsche was sixth. Gooch was seventh, and Mike Clement looks like he busted out 3 laps in eighth. And then 360 sprint. Gooch took the win in that one over Chip Lawrence. And then Brian Keever third. Soltow, Ian Rupp, Brian Morey, and Brian Erb. And that is nuts. There was only 7 cars. Does that mean that there wasn't a 360? That was, man, usually there's way more than that.
Yeah.
But it looks like a bunch of them went over to modified instead because they was down to a C main on Sunday.
I wonder if those guys are getting ready for the Chili Bowl to run modified on the big track.
That's true. I could see that. So, yeah, the Carpet Off-Road Syndicate only had 69 entries. I thought we were going to hit that 70 number. But you think about it, I was mentioning this earlier, 69 entries with a whole bunch of people down at Fastlane.
Yeah, it's a lot of people.
And then there's a couple faces that I that weren't there anyways, like Jake Poteet wasn't there, and Phil Palmer weren't there this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they didn't go to Fastlane, they just weren't there. So if we get everybody there at once that's been to the syndicate this year, we could have over 100 entries easily.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it would be a long day. The syndicate was really fun on Saturday. I struggled in qualifying, just finding a rhythm and not crashing a lot. I didn't think the track was that hard, but I did build this really hard, what turned out to be pretty hard. Like, you jumped into a roller, and if you jumped too far, like with my 4-wheel drive, because of the flat noses on those 4-wheel drives, if you jump too far and hit the face of that jump, it kicked you really crazy.
Oh, really?
Like you couldn't jump into the jump itself. You had to land just short so that you could actually roll it.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to hit every single line. And then we did a big jump onto a landing that went down into a staircase. And it's something I'd wanted to build for a while. And I was just like, well, let's just do it. And we did it. And it was okay. It was all right.
Yeah. It looked cool. Like when I drove your car on it, I thought that layout was really cool. It was like one of my favorites, honestly.
Yeah. To me, it felt, building it, and after we were done, it looked very simple, but it wasn't. It never is on carpet. Nothing's ever simple on carpet.
Yeah.
I put a full degree of anti-squat into my 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And I put
Did it help?
Yes, and I put a full degree of kick-up into it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And my 4-wheel drive got really good.
Yeah. Because like when I drove it, that was like one of the things I said it needed.
Yeah. Yep. So I changed it Saturday morning, and went out there, and then I struggled in qualifying because my tires were coming off. After the second qualifier, I was up there announcing. I was looking at my car. I'm like, what is going on? I reached back, and I was like, I wonder if my tires are coming off. And I grabbed them, and sure enough, there was like one little sliver of glue holding both of my rear tires on. So I re-glued them, and I had gotten lucky. My time from the first qualifier held up, but I re-glued them, and then I went out there for the main, and I pulled away.
Nice.
So I was pretty happy with that. We'll get to that here in a second. Plexspec A main. Ryan Nemec got a win. Jamie Peevler always qualifies terrible and comes out to either win or get second. And I'm not even kidding. It's like he doesn't really care that much until the main. He's just like, oh, we're racing now, so now I'm going to go. Isabella McMullen, she keeps looking better and better every week. Finished third. Colton Hoffer, it was his first time at the Plex and finished fourth. Cody Haida, he had a rough go of it this main. Just it was kind of like my mini B main or my mini B qualifier. Just things kept happening and it just never got any better. So this will be a throwout for him. Steve Eichler was sixth and Chloe Dortch was seventh. She almost got a 12th lap. Scroll up here. We had a C main in expert stock and a C main in independent buggy and then B mains in 13.5 wheeler. So that was kind of fun watching those guys try to make the bump game. Mod 2 wheel qualified horrible. My first qualifier, I guess I forgot to hit start on the battery, so my battery wasn't charged. Mm-hmm. So with like a minute left to go, sitting second, my battery died. And second qualifier just crashed a lot, so I qualified fourth. But in the main, I just drove better. And I can't remember. I don't think I did anything else to my car. I think I just tried to drive better. And Caden Berdine made one mistake. And I was able to get around, and then I held him off for 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And second to last lap, he almost had me. But I was able to drive out of it, and then he wasn't close enough to second lap. So I got a win. In all honesty, you know, Alex, Ethan, and Riley weren't here. And Mitchell Pavel weren't here. So those are 4 mod drivers. 3 of which pretty handily beat me a couple times already this year. So, with them being gone, I was kind of hoping to get a win. But with Caden there, I knew it was going to be hard because Caden's really good. I think he's gotten 2 seconds and a third so far this year. So I'm pretty happy with that. Going to get some points back there.
Nice.
Caden got a TQ, so we basically washed for the day. Chance Rolk was third. David Peevler was second. David qualified really well. I think he got tangled up, him and Chance, a few times there. And then Bender drove Dalton's car, his 21.5 car, because his car wasn't working. And I won't say why. I think I know why, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
In a way. I feel bad for him. Like, one of the reasons why I don't want to accept any major sponsorships anymore other than tires, other than J Concepts, is one of the reasons why he wasn't able to run his car.
Wait, what? Who?
Bender.
What?
Daniel Bender.
Would he have electronics problems?
It wasn't problems. It was a fitment problem. Like, the electronics worked, but he couldn't fit one of the pieces into his car, I guess, the right way.
What?
I don't want to call him out and get him in trouble or anything like that. I'm just saying that like he was struggling to get his personal stuff to run Saturday, so he ended up borrowing Dalton's car.
Oh.
For the main, so he could race still.
Okay, none of my business. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things where you don't want to be stuck in that situation. You should. That's why I like just running what I run.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I hear you.
Anyways, 4-wheel drive A main. I got the TQ, so I had a really good starting position, and I drove really good, so I got the win. David Peevler was second. Caden Berding was third. Chance Rolk was fourth. Andrew Thomas fifth. John Berding sixth. Corey Tannehill was seventh, and Aiden Pesh was eighth.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, those changes I made in practice, I thought my 4-wheel drive was better. My car's still really loud, but not as loud as it was. I put a new pinion gear in it, and it was a little quieter, but my car's still really loud. So I don't know what to do about that.
I think that it's just because the diff cases in that car are so suspended now. They just resonate,
Yeah. Well, whatever. I mean, it works. I changed speed controllers, and I changed motors from last week, and car felt a little bit better, so it was good. Expert stock. Emerson, my son, drove I'm really proud of him. He's driving really well, and he's working on that car on his own. I've helped him a little bit, like raise the transmission, raise the gearbox up, not gearbox, raise the diff, you know, from what we were running on dirt to carpet. I kind of showed him how to do that, but everything else he's been doing on his own. And he was really fast. In fact, I think he could have qualified second in mod with his stock buggy. So
Really?
yeah,
That's impressive.
yep. Corey Tannehill got second. Dalton Conrad was third. Joe Schnoes was fourth. John Berdine fifth. Jana Peevler was sixth. TJ was seventh, and Kenny Danley was eighth. Emerson finally got kind of a good start and was able to just sort of ride the rest of the race out while everybody behind him battled it out. So it was pretty cool. Joe Schnoes had a really good start. I thought he was going to make the podium, but he got kind of hosed on the last lap. Not by the person who finished third, but just by bad luck with his marshalling and everything. So, John Berdine had a terrible start and clawed his way back up to fifth. Jana Peevler, I think she was up there for a little while. I think she was in third for a little while. Yeah, TJ got stuck under the ramp. Like one of the few cars to go the wrong way and get under there at the start for sure. In Mini, Andrew Thomas got his second win of the year. Anthony Santee finished second. Caden was third. Roger A. fourth. Ryan Nemec was fifth. Emerson broke out on lap 4. Chris Heide broke out on lap 1. I didn't run my car because it was driving really bad, and Kenny didn't run his car either. So, so good finish there for Andrew. And then our last race of the night on Saturday was independent two-wheel drive, and Jana Peevler got the win. And this one was crazy because I think she got it on the second to the last lap. I believe Andrew Thomas led most of the second half. Dalton Conrad led most of the first half. So there was three big lead changes in this one. And then behind them, from fourth on down, who knows? There's so many position changes that I can't even keep track. So,
Yeah.
But Jana Peevler got a win. Andrew Thomas was second. Dalton Conrad finished third. Cody Mosier was fourth. Joe Schnoes was fifth. Josh McMullen was sixth. Connor Hausch was seventh. And Kenny Danley was eighth.
Nice.
And that was a race day. And then, like I said, we didn't race on Friday. We are going to race this Friday for sure. The track is back in shape and ready to go. And will require minimal work for me to get it ready for next week. So. Or for this weekend. So we should have another good race weekend. We got the Mini Maniacs round 2 tomorrow night, and then carpet racing on Wednesday, as always. Family Friday off-road on Friday. Syndicate round 5 already halfway through the season. And I forgot to post the points.
Oh,
Shoot, that's what I forgot to do Saturday. But I did have to go out and work on the oval, so hopefully you guys forgive me on that one. But Syndicate round 5 on Saturday, and then Winter Series on-road round 2 on Sunday.
nice.
So very, very busy weekend. And sounds like the week that we're gone, it sounds like Logan is going to fill in on Friday, and Tommy's going to fill in on Saturday.
Okay, nice.
And then the only thing that I'm worried about is the actual track, because we're leaving on Wednesday. So, make this a call. All of you local guys that will watch the show or are watching the show that race carpet. If some of you guys want to come up, or if you're in Omaha and you want to be around on Friday and put a track together, that would be huge to help out because nobody's going to be there. Emerson and I are going to be gone. So
I'm going to be gone.
Yep, and Will's going to be with us, but Will doesn't race carpet anyway, so.
Yeah, not right now.
So, yeah, so there's that. So, okay, we'll get to the comments here after a short pivot break. You want to do that?
Cool. Yeah, let's do it.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
This is a Pivot Lending Update with David Olson and Don Zoller. Get some.
This is David Olson with Pivot Lending Group. Today we have Brian Tataviano, who is the CEO and owner of Pivot Lending Group. Brian, thanks for joining.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
For the listeners, the 5 C's of lending: credit capacity, capital, conditions, and character. So those kind of the 5 blended. But Brian and I work with a lot of financial institutions, whether it's credit unions or community banks, that do a lot of character lending. As things change and pivot in the near future, I think there's opportunities for people that are listening that you may see something on TV or on the radio or on a podcast or something like that that says, hey, we're XYZ mortgage company from all across the United States, call us, boom, boom, boom. But I think if you're in one of those situations, before you start to look at maybe programs that are coming up to help put you in a position to purchase the home, that you maybe reach out to your financial institution, if it's a community bank or a credit union, because there is a lot of character lending that still hangs with those people, goes a long way. I mean, we do a lot of originating for credit unions and community banks. We always have. And I'm hoping that the credit unions that still have the spirit of the credit union, there are some credit unions that are larger than most banks that I know. But some of the smaller credit unions that are the epitome of that spirit are there to help.
Well, credit unions never engaged in subprime lending as defined by the industry. They never did it. What they did was common sense loans. If they had been a member for 20 years and they got a divorce and their credit score went down, they would still look at a loan, a car loan, an equity loan, whatever it was, because they had the relationship. And that character piece, albeit subjective, it's a big part.
Yeah.
It's a big part of how credit unions and community banks, for that matter, how they lend. It's about the relationship. It's about working both sides of the balance sheet, which is assets and liabilities, which is the complete reverse for the financial institution. Your asset is their liability and your liability is their asset. So if you can swing, if you're comfortable with the payment, buy a house. Because long term, it doesn't matter what today does. It doesn't matter what rates are at today. You can refinance very easily from a 30-year to a 30-year. Equity prices, historically speaking, take all the noise out, trend upward. May not be 18% per year, but it will increase as far as value is concerned over a long period of time. One of the best forms of creating wealth is buy-in through the equity in your home. I don't suggest that you go out and you buy a ton of investment properties, but a primary residence is yours. It's a good way to be able to justify. And I know that's easier said than done, but to Dave's point, as the market cools on the real estate side, 3% down, 5% down mortgages will be looked at again. You won't have to go in as a cash buyer. You can go in with lower down payment. But over the grand 10, 15, 20-year period of time, owning a home is a phenomenal investment.
Let me know if I can help. Give me a call, 402-881-5951. Shoot me a text. Just make sure that you put your name on there and the best way to reach you, whether it's via text or email. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
David Olson, NMLS 16099. Don Zoller, NMLS 277589. Pivot Lending, NMLS 109995.
We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Well, there's a side-by-side picture of the Hoonigan 10-scale car and the Hoonigan 14-scale car, and the tires are definitely smaller. I'm curious to see how regular tires would actually fit on it. It almost looks like it wouldn't. Maybe they'll come out with tires that would work on carpet.
Yeah.
Or who's to say they won't? The stock tires won't, but I'm going to guess they probably might not. A lot of times they're too hard.
Do they still make X patterns?
Not really. No, HPI doesn't have any, but basically the Gravity RC tires that Gravity makes for USGT,
Yeah.
they're very similar.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're not X pattern, but I mean they're close. So, yeah, had something I was gonna say and now I don't remember what it was. I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh well. No podcast next week.
Why?
Margie is going to be on Thanksgiving vacation.
Oh, okay.
Her and Richard are going, I think, to Where are you guys going?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. I was going to say California. So, yeah. So they're going to LA.
Nice.
So no podcast next week. Going through here. Steve RC, when are you guys going to get Jason from J Concepts on? I know we've talked about that for a while. I haven't even asked him recently.
I haven't either.
Um,
that was loud. Sorry.
Jackson says he's planning on going to SICK this coming year if all goes to plan. That's the one in January.
Mm-hmm.
Steve RC wants to know what 4-wheel mini I'm using. It's an RC18. And then Zaire's question was, do you know any silly season rumors that nobody knows and can get you in trouble if you say them? If so, what are they?
Oh, yeah. I know a whole bunch of them. I
I'm
can't say them, though, or I'll get in trouble.
yeah, I'm super out of the loop.
I know all of them, actually. Everybody's just come to me and told me exactly what's going to happen.
I'm
Like,
speaking about that. I mean, this would be a year, right?
oh, yeah. No, this is going to be a big one.
Be a big
I think
year.
we're going to see a lot of moving and a shaking and a quitting, honestly.
Yeah. Do you think the 2-year contracts are set up so that they have them for? Are they concerned about Worlds, or are they just? Is it just because it's nice to have somebody on for multiple seasons? I guess because it seems like we went from single to a on the high end racer guys, the ones that actually might get paid. Like it seems like we went from a year to year to a multiple year sort of thing.
I think they're set up for world championships, and the reason being is because there's been manufacturers that have, like tire manufacturers, have been known to just sign drivers for world championships and then dump them.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to say who it is, but it's definitely nobody I've ever driven for.
Well, I mean, Proline does that. Proline will pay. I don't know if it's going to happen now with them being owned by Horizon, but in the past, Proline's been very good at having for hire drivers when they need them for a World's year.
Right. No,
it seems like Jason's tends to pick more longevity type drivers.
Yeah, no, I mean Ryan.
Like you don't see them get picked. You don't see anybody get picked up by J Concepts for a single year. No. For a single race. Other tire manufacturers can do that and will do that and have done that, I guess.
Right. Oh yeah. No. Proline is who I was talking about. They'd pick up a driver just for a world championship, and then that was it.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
if they need somebody fast to drive their car, and
use their product. I mean, it's part of the game, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I've just never. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I don't see things like that happening anymore. But I think that's why it's set up that way.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, we got a super chat from Renault. He wants to know, Peter Renault, when is live racing coming back? And yeah, it's a good question because this weekend, I was pretty stressed out. So there was no racing Friday, and then Saturday I didn't run the live stream because I needed my phone to be fully charged so that I could work on the track with my headphones. Like it's just part of my, if I don't have my headphones when I'm working on the track, A, it's really loud either with the tractor or with the tamper. And B, like it's part of my existence to turn on either like Chad Daniels podcast or Star Talk or my bunch of my Pandora streams or something like that. And if I don't have that when I'm working on the track, it's not fun for me. So I didn't run the live stream because I didn't want my phone to be drained down. It's a very selfish reason for not doing the live stream this weekend through our channel. But I think I'm going to test the other computer, the fast computer for a live stream so that we can get the Techno Series this next time around.
Nice.
So sorry about that. That's just what happened. It's just that's why. So good question. And I felt bad, but yeah. So yeah, silly season rumors. I haven't heard a thing. I'm not an insider anymore anyways, so I'm not going to hear anything. I have some guesses. I have some guesses, but they'll be wrong, so I'm not going to say anything.
I'm surprised at some of the rumors that are going around. I'll say that.
Well, I think we'll know more. I think we'll know more here in another couple weeks.
Oh, I think
I'm actually very surprised that there's not more out there now, as close as we're getting to December. But I'm sure we'll know some more for real for a couple weeks.
Oh yeah.
But again, I got to ask, same thing I asked in our very first podcast a couple years ago. Do we care? Or why should we care? I guess. I don't know.
I mean, ultimately, it's none of our business, but I mean, I don't know. I could, I don't know.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's like, why do we care?
Yeah, it's kind of fun, but I mean, it's the same reason why everybody cares when somebody from Supercross or motocross flips to a new team, or when somebody from NASCAR, goes somewhere.
I don't like talking about it because I don't like spreading rumors.
Right.
And just exacerbating everything about what's going on. So that's why I don't usually talk about it, like even if I know anything.
Well, let's talk about who's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I bet you Dakota doesn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you TLR retains Cavallari.
Yeah.
Because Cav's been doing pretty good. Seems happy.
I mean, he's been holding his own.
I bet you Spencer's not going anywhere. Let's see, who else? I bet you Joe Bornhorst isn't going anywhere. He seems pretty happy.
Yeah.
Spencer Eckert, I doubt he's going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So those are a couple that off the top of my head that I would be surprised if they make any major changes.
To clarify here, I threw a marker at my cat because I have a hot soldering iron over there. And she was like would you rather get burned by an iron or hit with a marker? So and I didn't even hit her with the marker. I hit the car stand next to the cat with a marker.
Yeah.
To scare out of there.
Okay. All right. When's the Plex getting boat racing? Haha.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Let's see. We were talking about mini racing. Ben Shore commented Mini Cooper. Yeah, I've been there, done that. Unfortunately, the mini racing, once they got rid of the MO3, for me, it stopped being fun. That's just what I think about mini. Mini was a blast when it was an MO3. Once you got onto the MO5s and the cars that could gear them, that you could the even numbered cars where you can gear them a tooth higher, so they're way faster. No, thank you.
Yeah. Is the MO3 a front wheel drive car?
Yeah, that was like the Suzuki Swift.
Yeah.
God, those things were fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I bet.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm sure I've driven one, but I've never owned one.
Yeah. We were talking about Moron Road. Nick Nuthouse said, "Who cares if you build it as long as people race at the original Hobbyplex?" That's always kind of been my thing. I've given certain people crap for buying their stuff, like from Tower Hobbies and stuff, back in the day, but usually it was because they worked for us. Like Clayton Whitmire did that. Clayton did that one year. Like his dad bought him a techno car through Tower Hobbies like payment plan. This was before we had a SEMA.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Where'd you get that?" And he's like, "Oh, we got it off a Tower." And it like blew my mind. I'm like, "Dude, you work for us.
Mm-hmm.
You would have gotten that car like $200 cheaper."
Right.
But,
I know one time, like this would have been like 2010. I bought a B4 and I bought it from the Lincoln. I ordered it from the Lincoln store because I had a discount there. You're like, "Where'd you get that?" Like at the Lincoln store because I work there still. And you're like, "Oh, so you probably got a discount on it." Like, yeah. And you gave me a hard time.
yeah.
It's like I didn't buy it from the Plex.
See, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I for two reasons. There's a lot of people now that are pretty damn loyal and do buy from us no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But secondly, for me, it's just about getting people to come out and race. If they find a smoking deal somewhere, I guess that's what it is, you know.
Yeah.
I'll still get annoyed by the people that I go, I got it cheaper at this place. And I go, really? How much did you pay for it? And then it's the exact same price as ours. And I'm like,
hilarious.
Hilarious.
I always I'll even buy stuff from the Plex still, like if I need it, you know.
Yeah.
Or I don't have a problem with that.
Nuthouse's comment on the hose thing. We got a squirter.
Yeah. Yeah. That's me.
Let's see. Demonic Wolf, that's one of our Patreon members, Chris Nelson.
Nice.
Hey guys, thanks for the track. Sucked it up, but the track was fast and challenging, and it was a good change. That's about the Techno series.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Studer also got 6th or 7th in intermediate nitro truck.
Nice.
As well at the Alabama race. John Haas says that Will's cracking him up tonight.
Oh, I tried.
Andy Barrett says that Drew got penalized because he glued his sidewalls and had to use his 2-wheel drive tires on his 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Huh.
I the last time I ran that race, I asked what's his name? Chuck. I asked Chuck if I could glue my sidewalls on my 4-wheel or my 2-wheel, and he said, "Nope, that's a tire modification, and you can't do it." Like, okay. So, yeah, that makes sense. That I didn't realize he'd penalize anybody for it. I would think that you could just grind it off, if you wanted to, but.
Ben Shore wants to know if anybody's going to the turkey race in Sioux City. Not that I know of.
Yeah, I'm not going to make that one.
I think Sanders went last year.
Nice.
We'll see. Sanders has been coming every week, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
McMullen says the Indy main was pretty wild on Saturday. It looked like it. Basically from like third down was a bunch of squiggly lines on the graph.
Mm-hmm.
Steve RC is giving me crap. He says a fully charged battery helps. Could have swore I hit start on the charger, but maybe I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Colton Tilley from Tilley's Stick Burner Barbecues on here. I asked him for some mac and cheese because his mac and cheese is phenomenal, and I got a mac and cheese and a sandwich. And holy crap, dude! Like I didn't eat the bun. Sorry, Colton, but I just took the brisket out of there and I just dipped it in the sauce and then like went like. It was so good. It hit the spot. I'm glad he gave me a sandwich too. Because like part of the deal is he could park up there and sell all of his stuff, but I got to get free food out of it. So
tell him to give me a free thing. I had to pay last time. Damn it! Tell him I get a free thing.
But his homemade mac and cheese is freaking phenomenal.
It's great. That's what I got the last time.
So good.
But he was even like, yeah, I like watching the show. I'm like, all right, cool. Here's how much it costs.
Wah.
I'm kidding. You can charge me. I don't care.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like, it's fun. Just trying to be funny.
Steve RC says he's realizing that the guy that he bought his carpet car from that converted it only changed the gear diff and the chassis and the gear diff changed, going through putting the carpet settings on it now. I mean, honestly, if you're running 21.5, you don't have to change a lot of that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He also wants to know who the Patreon members are now. Peter, Steve. Well, I'm gonna have to go in there and look. I don't know. I know the ones that have been on for quite a long time that we need to get on here and give them their money's worth. Well, I'll go back through there and look, but those are the ones off my head. Let's see. Jason's still on there. Nick Nuthouse still on there. Nick Sneathen. Jason Haley. Ben Huffstetler. God, I'm gonna miss somebody, and then they're gonna be like, no, I'm taking it off.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Lesack.
Kevin's his Patreon
Yeah.
member?
Hey,
Wow.
he came in and got a bunch of stuff, and then I haven't seen him since.
Typical Kevin.
I know. That's what Kevin does. Just what he does.
Don't tell him he's still a Patreon member. I
Yeah.
don't want him
I don't want to tell him. Yeah, and we're 48. The last time I checked, we're 48 subscribers away from 4,000 on there. Yeah, Chris Nelson. I mentioned you earlier as still being a Patreon member on there. See, I got a smiley upside down face. I said earlier you were. So yeah, so we're gonna try to make that happen. I think December 16th or something is what we're looking at. Whatever Monday that is.
So get a hold of Alex, like text him or something, and let us know if you're interested or if you want to be on. Then we'll try to divide the time accordingly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I sent out a message on Patreon.
Okay.
So
right.
I'll try to gather up what we can. And like I said, some of these guys are here in Omaha, so we might be able to get them actually in studio. Which would be kind of fun. So
yeah, I'll try to come up with questions at each of them.
Yeah. We're almost done. What makes this a big year for silly season? And basically, I mean, what it is most of the time these guys now have 2-year contracts, so their off year, you don't see as much big stuff, and a lot of them are on the same cycle, I believe.
I think another thing that makes this a big year for silly season is the companies that are trying to still recoup from COVID and maybe having to let drivers go because they can't afford to have drivers.
Well, and not only that, but we saw some big changes with AK and Proline both being gobbled up by Horizon Hobby last year.
Yeah.
And, again, this is going to be a new year, so you're going to have some of those drivers that were in that same contract. We'll see what that does. Sometimes
that, and then I've seen I've noticed car manufacturers having the prices of kits go way up.
Right.
So it's are they trying to still recoup money from missed sales, or is the car that much better? Or, you know what I mean?
Well, and just the cost of goods too.
Yeah. Yeah, everything's going up, and it's do we make cars or do we have drivers? Maybe that's
that's always been the thing ever since we started paying drivers to race RC cars in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly.
Steve says, I hope Alex doesn't say a driver isn't going somewhere that Will knows differently. We'll have to look back at this one of these days.
Funny.
Yeah.
It'll be funny.
Yep. Okay. Peter says he's been sick in bed all day, so I hope you feel better.
Oh, Peter.
But hey, that gives you a chance to do what I did today. You know what I did today? Nothing. And it was everything I thought it could be. Again, it's one of those days where I did nothing. I watched TV all day. I watched an entire Joe Rogan interview with these two guys. I can't remember their name now, but they talk about the pyramids and pyramids in the Amazon and trying to rediscover what Tesla was trying to figure out with having energy come from the earth or whatever.
Yeah, I've been watching that show on Netflix that they're promoting.
Really? I watched that whole thing today.
Yeah, that's a good one. I love those ones, the ancient aliens, and it's was it History Channel before midnight, or History Channel before midnight and History Channel after midnight. It's like Jesus riding a Velociraptor or a T-Rex, shooting lasers from his eyes.
South Park just had an Instagram a couple days ago that popped up with their Thanksgiving episode where the Thanksgiving where the pilgrims were visited by aliens, and it showed Cape Cod is in the shape of possibly an alien, and then it shows then pops up on the screen as a giant alien with a giant erect penis. It's so funny.
Yeah, isn't that the best?
Oh man, it is the best. Okay, I think that's it. Peter says he watched Mel Brooks movies all day. So there you go.
Oh, really? Did you watch Young Frankenstein? That's my favorite Mel Brooks movie.
Isn't Spaceballs a Mel Brooks movie?
It is.
Yeah, Spaceballs.
Spaceballs is a good one, but
Spaceballs
Young Frankenstein.
Isn't Blazing Saddles? That's a Mel Brooks movie, isn't it?
That's a good one. That's a movie you could not make today.
You could not make that movie today, that's for sure.
No.
Okay, let's go. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna make potato soup tonight. It's gonna be great.
Potato soup.
Yep.
All right.
Potato soup. Peter says the history of the world is probably his favorite.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go. We're gonna go.
Okay. All right, we're going.
Yep. Well, remember, no show next week. We'll be back on. Hold on. Before we go, I lied. We're not going yet. We'll be back on the 28th. Yeah. So, post Thanksgiving episode.
Nice.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Yep. See you guys. Thanks for watching.